Hey everyone, Christina Del Rey with your forecast for the week of January 11th, 2020. Very big week in astrology. I think that perhaps myself and some other astrologers as well, perhaps we underestimated the astrology of last week. But the truth of the matter is, I think now that Mars is in Taurus along with Uranus, and even though they're not quite together yet, they are going to meet in the sky, so they are applying to each other. And this is going to be big shakeups and unpredictability, and possibly even violence, I hate to say. So there are a lot of unpredictable energies going on, especially for January and February. It does look like it will get a little bit better after that, but there will be social unrest probably pretty much all year. I honestly did not expect what happened in the nation, in the United States, until like the 20th or around the 20th of January. So it will be interesting to see how that energy manifests on that day. But for this week, we have a new moon, and it's a very significant new moon because if you remember, we had the Pluto-Saturn conjunction in January last year. It was right around exactly the same time. And this is what, like, we didn't know it at the time. I mean, astrologers predicted that there was going to be a major restructuring, but we didn't know exactly what it was going to be. So think back to January of last year when you had really no idea that a wrecking ball was coming through your life. And, you know, you were kind of like, we were kind of like sitting ducks, really. You know, even though astrologers knew that something big was coming, we just couldn't really put our finger on it. We really knew that what I kept thinking was, you know, Donald Trump was going to go down, or, you know, like the structure, the political structure was going to go down. And that was true to some extent, but it was a lot more than that. So anyway, this new moon is going to reactivate whatever you were kind of blindsided with in January. So whatever you started in January, or whatever, you know, whatever that meant for you, that restructuring of your life, whatever completely changed, this is kind of bringing that wound back up. However, we're starting a new cycle on it, and we are hopefully going to manifest a new energy and rebuilding energy on that same degree. So the fact that this new moon is at the same degree just shows that, you know, the universe knows what it's doing. And you're going to be you're not going to be a sitting duck anymore. You're going to be aware of how you have to change, how you have to empower yourself, because this new moon is going to be conjunct Pluto, which is very intense. So intense emotions, you know, stepping into the higher manifestation of this is stepping into your power more fully, reconstructing your life. But this time you're doing it with knowledge. You are not, you know, just kind of sitting there and then boom, something happens and changes your life. It's more like you're empowered now. And Pluto is really about evolution. So what did you learn in the past year? How are you going to apply what you learned in the past year? The biggest thing too with Pluto, I think, is intentions. If you have good intentions, I believe that, you know, you'll get the higher manifestation, hopefully. But if you have manipulative, or if you have, you know, harmful intentions, then, you know, you might manifest the lower side, you know, of Pluto. And, you know, that can lead to all kinds of, you know, not pleasant things like, fighting and violence and things like that. So we want to keep it at the highest vibration possible. You're going to take what you learned and you're going to have a priority shift. You're shifting your priorities now. And the structures that you have built have been torn. How are you going to rebuild them? That's the question that this new moon is asking you. And you should set your intentions as well. And Pluto is very deep. It's very emotional and very deep. So it's important to sit with that energy. And, where was your power taken away? How are you going to take back that power? So we have this, and then we have Mars, in Taurus along with Uranus, and that is shakeups in foundations, money, shakeups, shakeups in resources, because Taurus is all about resources. So there's going to be those, there's going to be that instability or that unpredictability. And as if this new moon wasn't enough, conjunct Pluto, we're also going to have Uranus go direct like a day later. So Uranus going direct is going to be all about freedom and independence from a situation that it's going to be empowering. It's going to free you, and it's going to free you from some wounds as well. So we have a big week in astrology this week. Let's see where this falls in your sign. Hello, Cancer. So we start the week off with Mercury squaring Uranus. This is happening a part of the chart for you that has to do with groups that you belong to and possibly even secrets that could come out now. So I would be a little cautious if there are any secrets that you are keeping. This could also be communications about, about deep psychological things now as well, with Mercury in the 8th house. Maybe you're finally feeling like, you need to talk about something. Maybe that's triggering you. But I would be careful, I would be cautious of getting into arguments with groups that you belong to, upsetting someone in a group that you belong to. Just be mindful of arguments in that area, friendships. And then on Wednesday, we have the big new moon conjunct Pluto in exactly the same spot that January 2020 started out with. So, we kind of had a wrecking ball come through our lives and in one part of our charts. And for Cancer, it was your relationships. So now we get to look at it in a different way. Whatever fell apart that had to do with our relationships, now we have to take that lesson and we have to apply it. And we may not have known what was going to happen in January 2020. We might have just been kind of clueless and didn't realize that this was going to, annihilate this structure in our lives. And I'm Cancer rising, so this applies to me as well. But now that, this area of relationships has been, completely leveled, now is the time that you have to rebuild it. So how are you going to take those lessons and apply them to your relationships? And this can be business partnerships or romantic relationships. But there's going to be a priority shift. Once truths come out, you can't go back. It just doesn't work that way. We are constantly evolving, and Pluto is about evolving and karma. So we have to take our evolution, we have to take what we learned and apply it to our transformation in relationships. Intentions are everything. During this new moon, there will be wounds that are related to our reputation. There'll be wounds related to our work. There will be wounds that come up and it's important to sit with that energy. There will be wounds connected to money and relationships, but you have to take a look at that, and you have to figure out how you are going to move forward for your highest and best good. Now, the day after, Uranus goes direct, and Uranus tends to shake us free from a situation. Think about what was going on in August for you, and that's when Uranus went retrograde. So now Uranus is going to go direct, and it's going to shake you free in some way. And these shakeups are going to have to do with groups that you hang out with, your hopes, wishes, and dreams, any kind of friends that you hang out with. It's going to be freedom. And Uranus is making a trine to Venus over in your 7th house. So it's kind of like you're healing a bit. Whatever this shakes you free from, you're starting to heal it. And maybe you're starting to heal some relationships too. Or maybe you're starting to heal something with money matters. But healing and support will mean that you are going in the right direction. It's a very big week, and I think that Cancer risings and Cancer sun will feel this energy. But you have to remember to act and surrender that whatever happens is in your highest good, and that we're setting the stage for a new year, and we are in a very different mindset than we were in January of 2020. It'll be a great week.